How could Jesus use the murderous Moses, the scheming Jacob, the commandment-breaking adulterous David? How can God use men like this? If you look closely, these men learned to face their failures. They didn't run from them. They didn't hide them. They didn't gloat in them. They learned to live above them. They learned how to face it and bring glory to God. There are many people today who struggle. I hear it everywhere I go. People come to me and say, Brother Stoneking, I can't live it. I don't have the power. I've been such a failure. There's no use trying. If you're here like that today, and that is the cry of your soul, I'd like to say to you that you are closer to God and His kingdom than the man or the woman who tries to hide their sins and never admits their need or their failure. I've come here today to tell you that you are closer to God than those among us who try to hide their sins and never admit their need of God or their failure. Would you clap your hands again, and would you shout unto the Lord with a voice of triumph? How does a man or woman of God become a man or woman of God in spite of their failures? Number one, you must learn to face your failure and shake off all fears about failure. Never be afraid of failure. I'm here to tell you today, he who has never failed has never done anything. I don't care what they tell you. I don't care what they tell you. He among us who has never failed has never done anything. Because none of us are perfect, but we're going to be. We're going to be. We're going to be. Fear of failure always causes a person to hide themselves from the presence of God. It causes a person to run. Adam said after he sinned, in essence, I failed God and I was afraid, so I hid myself. Peter failed his master. What a tragic failure. He had to get away from the searching eye of his master, so he ran. Jonah knew he had failed in his mission, and he drove himself farther in fear to Tarsus. Adam, Peter, and Jonah all running in fear away from the presence of God because they had a fear of their failures. Why do you think Adam, Peter, and Jonah ran from the presence of the Lord? I personally think that Peter never lost his love for Jesus. In fact, as he stood on the hillside weeping, I think he probably loved Jesus more in those moments than he had ever loved him in his entire life. Adam, in hiding, I think he grieved because he knew he had failed God. I believe it hurt him. Jonah, I believe as he ran, he kept telling himself, I'm not worthy. I have failed God. I ran, so I might as well keep on running. Satan tarries like a vulture around your personality. He works on you, and he works on you, and he works on you until he finds your weakest link. And when he finds your weakest link, he begins to drop on that like water dripping on a rock. And he'll work at it, and he'll work at it until he tries to crack you. Ladies and gentlemen, hear me today. You better find out in prayer and fasting what your weakest link is, and you better cover it with prayer and fasting. You better strengthen that link, because the devil is there to break it. He's there to break it. But by the grace of God, by the help of God, by the glory of the gospel, we can strengthen anything. I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me. The devil is a liar, but God is truth.